Good evening, Patrick here. 8 questions with have Cheetah will view, and welcome to Thursday. That's right, Thursday, last show of the week, and welcome on in. So far we have been just having an absolute blast this week. Um, a lot better than this week than what happened last week, that's for sure. A lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of bumps and bruises, but we come back strong with a whole slew of great shows this week. And thank you guys all because without you, I wouldn't have it. Your support and your kind words, and lately your engagement in the chat has just been outstanding. I hope that continues. Hey, there's our good friend Mike. Speaking of great guests and great shows, flew across the pond to talk to Mike. And did you see that? Did you see that channel? And had a fantastic interview. Tremendous young man. Enjoy talking to Mike. And yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. I'm doing pretty good. I feel better. A little sluggish earlier today, but I feel better today. Our guest will be film director and screenwriter Marissa Vonn. She is yet another one of those fantastic Iowa talents that I have been blessed to find and bring onto the show. Iowa is the new pipeline for 8 questions with. Um, Even though Michael Menard has said that I'm now too good for the Iowa guys, considering that he has a podcast idea, and he says, well, he wanted to talk to me about it, but I was too busy for him or too big for him. That's not true. Um, Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mike. Hey, Jaden, how are you? Um, he wants to do a well, the thing is though, Michael said that he wanted to do a countdown of the Quentin Tarantino films. And actually, I would actually be with you. I would actually do that with you. I would get into that, except I don't have very many Tarantino films. I think I have two. I think I only have two. I have Kill Bill 1 and 2. That's it. That's all the Tarantino I got. I don't have anything else. I yeah, I don't have anything else. I had Django. I did have Django. But after I listened to it once, I gave it to my buddy Catfish. I didn't really particularly didn't care for the movie, so I passed it on to him. Oh, that's right, Iowa. I'll represent. All right. Let's go see who's hanging out in the chat. Because that's always cool. And thank you for coming in through Facebook as well. For the people who are watching on Facebook, that's awesome as well. There he is, the man, the myth, the living legend, Michael James Menard in Facebook. Um, so I don't. I told Michael, I says I may not be able to do Tarantino, but we can do martial arts. I could do a top 10 martial arts. That'd be no problem. We could talk about that. That would be cool. I'd be down with that. But my Tarantino collection is like I have two of his movies. That's it. I should actually have three. I actually should get Jackie Brown, and if I can find it, I will get it. But the rest of the movies, uh, I do. I would do the. I would include the two-part CSI story that he did. He directed. He directed a two-parter of CSI with that was really good. I would do that. I always include that on Tarantino movies. Actually, believe it or not, whenever people talk about the Tarantino movies, I always think of the two-part CSI, which if you put together would be a full-length movie. Um, which was excellent. That was really creepy, really good. Um, that's it. That's all I have. Only two Tarantinos. That's it. Yeah, I just not that big of a fan of his. I just not. I like Kill Bill, and that's about it. I Though I heard Jackie Brown is really good too, but it was really weird about that is I've seen Jackie Brown and I know the story. What was really weird is they made a movie based on the Robert Elmore Leonard story called Life of Crime, which was actually sort of unofficial prequel to Jackie Brown. It shows the Robert De Niro and Samuel Jackson characters as younger when they first met before they had a falling out, and they're going to kidnap Jennifer Aniston and hold her for ransom, and it was sort of played like a crime comedy. Um, and Yeah, I didn't realize that until I read the synopsis of Jackie Brown that they were the same characters from Life of Crime. Now, Life of Crime was not directed by Tarantino, obviously, but the story itself was part of books that Elmore Leonard wrote, and he paired up a couple of his characters. I'm not sure if that happened in the books as they did in the movie. Like, I didn't know if the two friends actually did, Samuel Jackson's character. I'm not sure if he actually killed Robert De Niro's character in the book. Like it portrays it in the book. I'm not sure if it's like that or not. Um, considering they were friends in the Life of Crime. So, um, but tonight we're talking to Marissa Vonn. She'll be here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so, and she is, like I said, she is a film director from Iowa, and we will be talking about her brand new movie called Knee High. She actually made a short for that first. Knee High came out in 2019, and then she went ahead and took it and made a feature film out of it, which actually premiered at a theater in her hometown area, and it's sold out screenings. That's always cool. That's really cool. When a filmmaker can actually show their movie on locally at a theater, and the theater gives support to the movie, and then they have a little sellout. It's amazing. People, it's like I said before, sort of like watching a band when they first take off. You go ahead and you book a band. Like me, when I booked, I mentioned this before. When I booked, there was two shows I always wanted to try to get with a band. I always wanted to try to get their first show, and I always wanted to try to get their record release because would pack the room. Both that when the first show, they wanted everybody to come out and watch them, so everybody would come out and support them. So you always try to get that first show, and then whenever they recorded anything, a new cassette or 7-inch or a CD, then you try to get that as well, because everybody will be coming out to support that, and the band makes a lot of money too. So I think it's really cool that when in small towns or medium towns, whenever there's a filmmaker locally who has done that, they should show their movie on the big screen in the town. I think it's a great idea. All right, the doorbell has rang. I'm gonna go get our guest. So help me welcome in film director Marissa Vonn. Here we go. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfect.
Great.
Glad you are here. I was just talking while you're in the back room. I was talking about how I thought it was really exciting for you to show Knee High in your town and have it sell out. I think
Yeah,
that's I think that's so cool. I do. And
thank
like
you.
I said, hats off to the theater director or the owner or the manager who worked with you to make that happen. Um, I wish more towns would do that.
Yeah, it was wild. It was truly I had the goal of selling it out. That was like always my hope, but that's a hard thing to do, especially I feel like in Iowa it's always questionable how many butts you can get in seats for a movie, especially also 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Oh, on a Sunday. Oh, how
Yeah,
many seats were in the theater?
there's 230 seats.
And you sold it out on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
That's impressive. It's impressive.
yeah, it was I like tried to picture what 200 people would look like in a room leading up to it, and that like nothing prepared me for it. So when I had to get up and introduce the film, I don't know what I said. I have no idea what I said. I just blacked out. I was like, there's so many people here.
Well, I'm sure there were people that filmed it for you.
Yes, but I will not watch the video. That will make me die of embarrassment.
No, you got to. You got to watch it. You got to shine in your moment of glory because this is just the
or
first.
take criticism from myself for what I should do better.
this is your first step. I mean, I mean, no, not I mean, not your overall your first step. You made plenty of movies in the past or whatnot, but I don't know if you've ever sold out. Has any of your movies ever sold out of theater before?
No, definitely not.
So this is a first step.
Yeah,
First of
huge
many.
first step. I hope.
Um, I think so too, because as you know, or I don't, I think you probably have been following, because we're both in the Iowa Film Group, Filmmakers Elite, that's run by Michael James Menard. You probably have seen that I have interviewed a lot of Iowan artists, such as
Yeah, a
yourself,
ton.
and it's rich. Iowa is rich.
It is.
Who would ever suspected? Who would ever, if you think of when you hear people talk about movie locations, like, I mean, now it seems like, now I'm starting to hear the rumble. Now you're starting to
Yeah,
hear, hey, Iowa's the place to go, you know?
100%.
Oh, definitely. Iowa and Ohio this year has just been,
Yeah.
I,
Ohio's been weirdly busy this year. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I don't know if they've gotten like a tax incentive or if like a new company has opened there or what, but it's been busy over there.
one of our former guests, a film director named Conrad Farja, he just got done doing his new sh- new 48-hour movie, and
Oh, nice.
he just dropped that.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, I mean, in between, like I said, between Ohio and Iowa, I probably wouldn't have to go anywhere else for guests if I just stayed within those two states.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many great filmmakers in both of those states that I'm sure would love to come on.
Now, where exactly are you based out of? What city are you based out of? Are you Des Moines or in the four cities?
I'm from Atumwa, so that's southeast corner of the state. But most of my films that we've done in Des Moines.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
that's the biggest city,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. The most resources and like I think probably the biggest crew base is in Des Moines.
Now that's got to be. Do you ever go down and film within your town? How big exactly is your town as far as terms of population?
Uh, Atumwa's population I think is 24,000 now. We did shoot our last short film before Knee High the feature. We actually shot in Ottumwa at the Ottumwa Courier, which is the newspaper there, as well as in my uncle's camper parked in my dad's driveway. So we
Okay.
did shoot. We did shoot there. Just everybody had to come down for it.
Okay, so it's not as small as one would think. I mean, 24,000, that's everything you need, all the resources you need if
Yeah,
you need to film a movie.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Let's see, Michael is Michael is on me because I told him that he wants to do a Tarantino countdown. And I
Oh,
just told him
nice.
that I only own 2 Tarantino movies. I'm not the biggest Tarantino guy.
Yeah, fair.
I'm a big Michael James Bernard guy, and I sort of feel like, like if Tarantino saw, if you should have killed me, I have a feeling Tarantino would try to copy that movie because
I would
to me,
doubt it.
yeah, that to me that's what I always think of Tarantino does. He never has anything on his own. He always
Yeah,
is borrowing from somebody else, and it's just like, wow, I just like to see him do something by himself.
yeah. I think that's a lot of artists though. It's like there's this book called Steal Like an Artist that's talking about taking from your references, taking from your inspirations. But agreed, a lot of his movies are
Oh,
a little
he doesn't even try.
blatant. A
He
little
doesn't. Yeah, I was
blatant.
gonna say he doesn't even try to hide that
Yeah,
he's stealing from other sources. He's just,
yeah.
yeah, I'm doing this. So what? And it just
People
cracks
love
me
him.
up that it cracks me up that he gets so much. Everybody fawns over him, and it's like, do he's taking it from everybody else's movie, right? He's not doing anything, like Tarantino. I think the closest thing, honestly, I just mentioned it too. I think the closest thing I probably see Tarantino do, I have to go back to see if he wrote the story, but I know damn well he directed it. He did a two-part episode of CSI, which was
Really?
really good. It was really good.
I had no idea he
And
did an episode of CSI. That's
people
very
forget that.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people forget that. It was really good. Let's see. Theater rappers could give Des Moines a run for its money, crew-wise. Yeah, see, look at this. See, now we're talking
yeah,
about towns within Iowa that that have crew already. We talked to JoJo Monkey, and she mentioned how
Awesome.
there were, and also, well, also we talked to Dylan, um, and also Michael as well, uh, uh, about there's so many crews there. They did a 48-hour film challenge, and there was like 48 crews that were making the films in Iowa. That's
Wow,
a lot of
that's
crews.
that's wild. I feel like that's a good way to find new people too. Is to like go to the 48-hour screenings and be like, "Oh, there's 48 movies here. That means there's 48 crews."
That's
That's
a
so
lot.
cool. That's a
That's
ton.
it is a ton for, especially for a place that's not known for that. They're not really. I mean, most people when you talk Iowa, the one movie they mention is probably Field of Dreams, but
Yeah.
that came out in the '80s. It's like
Yeah.
okay, that's good, but we have advanced since then.
Yeah,
Um,
we've moved forward. We've continued growing.
uh, hey Andre, how are you? Wow, I haven't seen you for a while. I haven't seen you for a while, Andre. Glad you're here. Hope everything is doing well. Uh, uh, all the way from New Zealand.
Oh, I just realized I could see what people are commenting. Wow, that's awesome.
Now, were you born and raised in Iowa?
I was. I was born and raised in Ottumwa.
Okay, okay. So, what was it like growing up what was it like growing up there?
Um, I feel like a lot of people from like Iowa and smaller towns feel the same way, where it's like you hate it growing up, and then you move away and like start living your life somewhere else, and you're like, wow, that was actually not bad, and like all of my inspiration is like from growing up somewhere like that. So, from an adult standpoint, it was great. From if you'd asked me that, 20 years ago or whatever, I would have been like, it sucks here. But I know better now. I've learned. But yeah, definitely was interesting to want to be doing arts as a career in Ottumwa because it's more of a meat packing plant town. And there's a handful of really good horror filmmakers there, and that helped inspire me to be like, oh, I could actually do this.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, just to hear there's other. I was going to ask you, what's this? What's the size of the film community? And how do you say that? How do you say the town's name?
Ottumwa,
Itamwa. Okay,
yeah,
if I misspeak it, tell me.
it's all
So
good.
yeah, I'll probably already just like I'll probably call it like combo or something like that.
Close enough. We'll know.
Um, Iowa.
Yeah,
um,
somewhere southeast
yeah,
corner,
somewhere
somewhere
in
down
Iowa,
there.
in Tumba, So you said that you said yeah. See, I already forgot about it. See, I tell you, I'm horrible with names. That's why I'm always glad. This is why I have the guests come on, so I can sit there and say, okay, when the time's right, I'll hit my hat like this. You say your name of the town.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. Ottumwa. There we go.
So growing up there was already a film community already within the town. I would have never thought that would have happened.
Yeah,
But
and I don't know if it's grown a lot, but they do host Halloween-a-Palooza there, which screens a lot of horror movies. They bring in some like bigger name horror actors. They have like a really great festival down there it's in October, like early November, around Halloween time. They show horror movies, they show thrillers. It's and I think it's grown a lot because I like have been seeing it get bigger every year and it's really cool.
oh my gosh, the conventions seem to be growing leaps and bounds too,
Yeah.
especially in the Midwest. A lot of the Midwest cities now, different sizes, they might not be able to be big enough to support like a weekend, but they could support a day.
Yeah.
And well, they could, and that's still better than what it used to be, right? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
so um, so now, were you always, obviously, I guess the question would be, were you more of an actress when you came up, or were you always thinking behind the camera?
Always behind. Always as like
Why not? Why
as
not in
far
front?
behind as possible.
Why not in front? Did you ever act in front of the camera?
I got bullied into it once during a 24-hour film festival when I lived in the Bay Area, that it was like everyone could sign up and then they split people into teams on set. And I was like the only woman in the group that I got put with. And they're like, well, we really need a woman to like play this girl next door role. And I was like holding the boom pole. And they're like, you could say a line. I'm like, no, I can't. No, I can't. I can't. And then they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I got peer pressured, not really bullied, peer pressured into it. And that's it. And I don't ever want to do it again.
I'm seeing Michael's commenting here. He says, "I think Marissa spent time in LA too. And if you did, what was it like? I heard you mention the Bay Area, so we'll come back to that as well. Did
Yeah,
you spend time in Los Angeles?
I do. I live in Los Angeles now.
Oh, okay,
I come back to make movies because I like making movies here better.
okay. So that's gonna be different.
Yeah, it's a lot different. uh,
Uh, it's a lot easier to make your movie out in Iowa, isn't it? More than
it
LA.
is.
LA is just a land of licenses and fees and all that other jazz.
Yeah,
I've
it's a
heard.
lot.
Uh, uh,
It's a different process for sure.
yeah. I mean, you go to Iowa and you sit there and say, "This is what I need: A, B, C, and D," and they'll sit there and say, "Okay, it's no problem. Here you
Hmm.
go." And over in LA, it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, it's like you have like 20 different
Yeah,
permits, and you can't do this. It can only go up to here. And you can't. I mean, I've heard from different filmmakers how a lot of them have actually said that they don't even bother with that. They'll just go straight up guerrilla.
yeah, a
If
lot of
they
people
need it.
do.
Yeah. It's just so prohibitively expensive. Um, did you move out to LA because of your career?
Yes. Yeah, I moved out there 4 years ago, I think, just to try and get more work and to try and transition. I did reality TV for a long time, and I was trying to transition out of that.
What were you what shows did you work on? How did you get into that, reality TV? What shows did you work on?
I The first show I ever did was American Idol, like before the very last season they did before they restarted. Um, so I did that, and then I did a show called Sing It On. Those were like the shows that kind of got me into reality TV, and then I did 5 seasons of the HGTV show Good Bones, which is the home renovation show in Indianapolis,
Okay.
and then a handful of
Mm.
other things. But that's like the broad strokes of the
Now,
reality TV world.
was that your first job though? In for your career was it there growing up in your town? Did you get your start there making any short films, or did you go out to Los Angeles first before you started your career?
I tried to make a short film in Ottumwa when I was in high school, and I had no idea what I was doing, so I didn't get anywhere with that. And then I moved to Florida and went to Full Sail for film school, and that's
Sure.
where I like started making my first short films. Kind of figured out the process of nonlinear editing, doing takes, moving camera setups, actual good sound. Like learned all that process, and then moved around for all the reality shows and then wound up in Los Angeles and come back to make movies.
It's funny. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about the reality shows because I haven't had anybody who's worked on them before. So, so you're now the wizard behind the door. So, so we got to go behind the door to find out the secrets. American Idol. Wow, I don't even know where to start with that one. So tell us your well, it's just they purposely go down the line. Did they do that? And you can be honest with us.
Yeah, I
Did they go down the lines and they asked people to sing and just when they did and they were just pure shit. They just got called out because of that.
so I worked on the show, I think it was 2014. So like 100 years ago, it feels like. And I was a PA at the time, and I actually got placed in the way, I don't know if they still do it this way, but it was like the big cattle call that you see, and then you go to like the first initial people that are like producers and stuff that pick the people, and then you go to another round of judges and then another round of judges before you get to the on-camera celebrity judges. And I was actually stationed in the last judge before the on-camera judge room, and I
Okay.
just had to stand in the room, make sure they all had waters, make sure they had whatever they need, and then when they wanted somebody to advance to on camera, I just had to hand them the sticker. So that was my whole experience, and like it felt like everybody that came in was really good. So maybe I was just in the room where they were sending all the really good people,
Yeah.
or I have a horrible taste in music. It could go either way.
I always thought that they would just go down, everybody standing in line or what have you, and they sent PAs down the line. They're going like, "Okay, let's hear you sing," and then as soon as they start singing, I mean, you could tell if somebody was good or not, and then you say, "Okay, you're really bad, so you can get out. You can get out of line because there are so many bad singers there.
Right.
Like you
Right.
couldn't audition everybody."
Yeah, it was the days that I worked it were the San Francisco call, and it was 5 days of auditions. It was I've never seen that amount of people in my life. It was insane.
How many people, I mean, how many people do you think every day got picked? Or like, they pick out like 200 or every day, or
I think the room that I was in, I think we maybe handed out 10 tickets a day, and we'd probably see 60 people.
that's it?
Yeah,
60.
yeah,
So 60 times 5, 300 people, all those
mhm,
thousands. And then out
yeah,
of that, they probably had like 100 of those were probably just pure first round, laughs, like,
yeah,
holy shit. How many packs can Simon Cowell smoke today listening to the
right,
yeah,
yeah,
listening to that. Oh man. I just but there's some good talent there too.
for sure.
Um, my wife loved the show.
It was
She
fun, it was a fun show.
It was a fun show. It was fun trying to pick out, like who's gonna win because
Yeah.
you see him, and I actually lived in the Bay Area too,
Where at?
San Jose.
Oh, nice, that's where I lived when I first moved out there.
Okay. Well, now
Yeah.
what years were you there? What years were you there? You said 2014 or
Yeah, when I first moved to the Bay, I was there from 2014 into 2015, and then I lived there again from, like, the first half of 2019.
okay.
Yeah,
I was there from 87 to 99.
nice. That's
Uh, uh,
awesome. That, like, pre the big tech boom where everything got bananas in San Jose?
it was around that time. I mean, Apple was Apple back there,
Yeah,
every that was the big player in town. So I mean, there was Silicon Valley. Um, but the San Jose though, man, when it came down, and this, when it came down to the arts and cultural events and all that, yeah, not really good. Live
yeah,
music, what's that?
it's wild because it's changed so much now, like, they have, CineQuest and, like, a lot of good festivals up there now, which is awesome.
Yeah, I remember going to CineQuest. I remember when that hit, when they started that. My friend Pam Kelly, she worked on publicity for that for many, many years.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool. I remember going there many times.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
it's a
see.
great festival.
Mr. Bone says here his favorite part of American Idol when they show the singers they think can sing good but can't because they don't show them. Let's see. I guess yeah, they don't show that. You're right. They don't show that very much on the news show. They
No,
pretty
I
much
haven't
just
seen any of the new stuff.
yeah. Now they just want you to be good from the very get go. And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm all right with that. I don't. I think watching an hour of bad people, singing badly and getting ripped to shreds. It's like, you know, of course, you want to go out there and go like, so what made you think? I mean, did you just want to be on camera? Is that the reason why you stayed in line
right.
for 5 days just for that? Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Um. So what are some of the lessons that you took with you from your first experience?
Like, from my first ever film job, just patience, because so much of the job is hurry up and wait. So, learned a lot of patience, uh, and specifically being in the Bay, learned a lot about just leave earlier than what you think is physically possible. Like, just leave earlier and just always be early because something's always gonna come up. And, like, I ended up in that was a good spot for the PAs to, like, end up in one of those rooms because it could have been, like, running around. We were at Cow Palace is where it was shooting, like, running around the whole it's basically the size of a stadium, it's huge, and I am, like, positioned in one room. So, like, get there early, be one of the first PAs, and, like, just start making friends with everybody else because then you end up with a good job and a good connection.
And you got to work there for the show for 5 years.
No, that was good bones. I only did one stint with American Idol, like, just the
Okay.
San Francisco week, and that was just, like, my first, like, large scale film job.
Now, did you have to interview for it, or did someone know who you were?
Um, Somebody called me because they found my resume on, I think, Staff Me Up, and they were just like they needed, like, 20 PAs. So I think they hired everyone who worked in San Francisco or San Jose at that time and just brought us all in.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
it was
so
wild.
after that first show, I mean, is reality did you discover that was there any difference between doing a reality show versus doing a movie, or were there parallels between film and reality TV that you took with you? Is there anything that, as far as lessons go, that you took with you? Or
Yeah,
was reality show, because reality show, I mean, it's funny they call it reality, and it's like, it's anything but, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, did like I said, you're now the wizard behind the door. When you worked at reality TV, now you're the one looking for the wizard behind the door. And did anything
Truly.
surprise you, like when like, wow, I didn't know they did that, or I didn't know this was staged, or.
I think more like just the inner workings of, like, different positions in reality and unscripted were elusive to me when I first started it because I swear on every show it's different, but, like, on all the shows that I started on, it's like, how are there 5 producers and they all have different jobs? So it was a lot of, like, learning, but kind of being too embarrassed to ask because I was, like, already on the show. So, like, learning the hierarchy and, like, what every position on a reality set does versus what you learn in film school where it's, like, all they really talk about is scripted, where it's, like, a super clear, we know what all these roles do. But then you get to reality and it's like, lines are blurry for sure.
Mr. Bones is saying, he says, "No, no, just showing the good singers makes it boring." I don't know. I guess that's just two ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
You heard. Did so when they actually went in front of the camera, were you able to hear them sing into the room where they were performing in front of the judges, or were you far?
No,
Oh,
I
I
was
was
pretty
gonna say
far off.
that's probably a good thing, right? That probably saves your
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
Uh, like, now, do you like you mentioned earlier, you handled you were working with working with the crew, basically the cast members, the people who are going to go singing. Um, what was your details other than just like providing water or whatnot? I mean, did you try to coach them up? Did they come over? Did any of the actors, or any of the contestants come over to you and ask for advice?
No. No, they were all, like, really focused on the judges that were, like, producers of the show because that's who they really wanna impress. They don't care about the weird PA in the corner holding the stack of stickers and, like, standing beside the case of water. They're just, like they're focused. They know that their task is to impress those people and, like, have their best presentation towards them. I'm just, like, a weird person in black in the corner, which was fine.
I'm just surprised they didn't come up to you and say, "Do you know Paula? Are you friends with Paula?" Uh, I
Hilarious.
I think that was probably the most I think that's probably the most ironic thing about that whole damn show, was they had someone in there as a judge that couldn't sing.
They're like, "She's a personality." Sometimes that's good for TV.
Yeah, but she couldn't sing. I mean, if you put her in front of everybody and gave her an acoustic guitar and told her to sing, I don't think
But
she
but
would.
she'd have fun trying, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I just find it, that's what when they have Britney Spears on there too, and I'm just like, why don't they just go out there and grab the first person they see on the street? It's the same thing. But there are some that could sing, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And I always like Simon, because Simon was a cookie. He was a master of the cookie cutter. Like
Yeah.
he definitely was a master. The term. I'm proud of you. A cookie cutter is, for everybody who wants to know, a cookie cutter is it's an act that's put together professionally. It's not an organic band. It's handpicked, auditions and whatnot, and then they put it all together. Most of your pop bands are created that way. They're not bands that grew up together and played in the garage. They're from all over the place, and they get cobbled together and put together as a group. Um, yeah. So after that, after your experience with American Idol, now then where did you go? You mentioned another show.
Um, yeah, and then I went to the show that, like, no one's ever gonna have heard of because it was a one-season thing on a network that doesn't even exist anymore, but the show followed a cappella teams, like college level a cappella teams that were competing, and we like
Pitch
followed them from
Pitch Perfect
rehearsing. And
before Pitch Perfect before Pitch Perfect.
it was around the same time, I think, as Pitch Perfect, or like maybe the second one came out. I don't remember what year that was, but yeah, we followed a cappella teams through their training and like their performances and them getting to like the national level and competing against all the best teams. And
Now that would have been a fun show to work on.
it was really fun. It was a lot of like traveling and a lot of live music, which was cool.
Now, did you start learning to start, like, as a director, especially on independents, you wear a lot of hats when you're as an independent director, filmmaker, and that probably includes casting. Did you start picking that up? I mean, by time when you hit the show, when did you start thinking about this is, I want this, I'm happy to do this, but I want to do more. I want to start directing. Did you get that did you get that fever when you were working at American Idol? When did you know that you wanted to become a film director in comparison
I
to where you?
Yeah, I knew that I wanted to be directing before I ever started working. Like I knew it in college. I knew that I wanted to direct movies, but graduating is like scary when you look at your student loan bills. So I was like, I just have to get a job. Oh, it doesn't matter what the job is. And I would really like it if it was like sort of using my degree. So it was pretty much take whatever job is degree adjacent right after college. And that's how I ended up in the Bay, was like something something led me there. And then I found Staff Me Up and like started doing film work and reality TV work. But I knew that I wanted to be doing narrative and specifically directing. So it was just a long road to get there.
But your journey included a lot of stops that you acquired skills at, and to me,
For sure.
I'm thinking with the show with the a cappella groups. I mean, like I said, you wear many hats with us as an indie filmmaker, and then one of that is casting. Like you have to spot talent. You have to be able to
Mhm.
spot good. And I'm wondering when you did a show like with the acapella group, did you start paying attention to the people that were there singing? Like that person's good, that person's not so good. I mean, did you start in your head start to like if I was going to pick this group, this is the people I would pick, which would be like if I was casting a movie, these are the people who I would cast in my movie. Did you
Oh,
start
for
picking
sure.
them? Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like you see these like incredibly talented people, and it's like I could write a movie that they would be really good in. And maybe I could like now that I've met them, I could finesse them into this movie and then it could like be a whole thing. So
Ah,
of course,
see,
you see that in a lot of people. Like I see that in strangers on the street. I'm like, that person's like really cool. Like I want to put him in a movie.
okay. So you're now. Have you worked as a casting director?
I've cast my own films, but I've never worked as a casting director,
Okay,
technically.
so
But I cast all
okay.
my own films.
What was the first film that you worked on of your films that you worked on where you did cast your cast?
My very first short film, which is called A.S.L, like the first one I wrote and directed, that was again 100 years ago. I think 10 years ago. Um, Wild. But that was the full casting process. I was still in college, so they give you like what's the word I want? They give you the process so that you learn how to do it, like auditions, callbacks, in-person chemistry reads, all that stuff. So that's the first one I really got to choose exactly who was going to be in it. And then the same, I've used a similar process going forward.
Yeah, I think that's impressive that you, even though it wasn't a movie set per se, it was reality TV or whatnot, but you're not looking at it as reality TV. You're looking at it like a film set,
Yeah,
and
for
looking at,
sure.
that's a lot of people they probably wouldn't be able to grasp that. They
Yeah,
probably, I'm here on a reality TV show, so I'm thinking my mindset is reality TV, you know, but here you are, you're thinking, well, what if I was going to make a movie out of this? What would I be doing? I don't think everybody would actually grasp that, Marissa. You
yeah.
know,
I think it's because it's a different grind to be in reality TV because it's much more of like a job. It feels like because it's more you go every day like to the office, pick up all the stuff, go wherever you're shooting. Like it's more, I don't know. It's not more structured, but it's more of a grind, I think.
hmm Now, after the show ended, it only lasted 1 season, right, you said?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
that one did.
and then you went
I
on.
think that network only lasted, like, 6 months.
Yeah, wasn't that the, like the WB? No, it wasn't WB, it was,
Um,
yeah, it was the
it was called
WB.
it was called Pop Network. It was like a spinoff of TV Guide, if I remember right.
Okay. Oh
It
god,
was
I remember.
short-lived.
Yeah, short-lived. Um, and then you went to HGTV. Now, how did
Yeah.
you get onto that show? And you were there for 5 years, 5 seasons?
Yeah, there was s I had, like some of the little stuff I did in between, like, different jobs. I think I had worked on another one-off season of a show and done a few days on a show somewhere, had met the right person who, like, ended up on the HGTV show, and then they're like, "Oh, we need someone to do this job," and they're like, "You could probably do that, right?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then I showed up to work and didn't leave for 5 years. So
Um, I mean, you must have, now even though you're working there, it's a good job, good pay,
yeah.
um, and you're working down your student loans. What school did you go to, by the way? What college
Uh,
did you go
I went to Full Sail University in
to?
Florida.
Okay, right. Now, was that the only school you went to for your career? I mean, was there
Yes.
any others? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
I do know a Full Sail. I'm thinking what the way I know Full Sail is I know they have wrestling shows now.
They do, and I, like, worked a couple of those in college, like,
Okay.
wrangling cables, whatever.
Right. I remember the WWE had, like,
Yeah.
developmentals were down there. That's how I remember Full Sail.
Yeah. Yeah, they did, and it was like that was a huge thing when I was there, was, like, if you could get to work the shows, it was huge because like, sometimes they'd let students camera operate and stuff, it was, like, really cool.
Um, so you're working HTV, and you're paying down your debt and things, but I'm sure every now were you working? Because I know many of the HGTV shows, they only last 10 episodes per season. Um, how long did it take to shoot your season? And then what did you do between the seasons to advance your career? Did you start shooting your movies between seasons that you're on the show?
Um, I was really fortunate with that show because we were getting renewed before we were done shooting, so we just didn't stop. Um, so we shot year round, we would take a week off for Thanksgiving and 2 weeks off for Christmas, and that's when I would shoot my short films, was on our the time we had off.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
that's
it
good.
was or, like, on a weekend off because we didn't work weekends for the most part. So it was just whenever there was time, I would just shoot something to try and learn, try and do something that felt more creatively fulfilling.
I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. Our good friend Dell on movies is here. He's about ready to drive, but he's gonna be listening to us as he's driving. Thank you so much for that, Dell. I appreciate that. And publicist Supreme Stephen Chang is here with us, and he says hello to you, Marissa. Stephen is a publicist. He helps out a lot of artists. And then our good friend Suzanne just walked in here on Facebook, and I know for sure that she would love to hear a little bit. And we're going to ask her more questions because uh, my wife also loved HGTV. I used to watch HGTV all the time. Oh my god,
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody does, it's so soothing.
it is. I don't know any of the stars there anymore, but I do remember they used to have the one show we used to like watching was the who's going to be the next HGTV star.
Oh, yeah, 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 that one was
Oh my
fun.
god, that was a lot of fun. Um, then they would have, oh my gosh, I mean, I haven't seen it in a long, long time. I don't watch TV per se, so I don't know I know they have a lot of real estate people now, and a lot
Yeah,
of makeover shows. Um, but we used to watch that.
I can't hear you anymore for some reason. Technical difficulties on one end or the other. He's gone.
Okay. Sorry
We're
about that.
back. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Whenever there's a phone call comes in, it knocks down my sound.
Oh, weird.
So, yeah, I don't know why, but it's just like, yeah, that's Steven mentioned I couldn't hear me. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't know why that happens, but, um, let's see, hey, Michael, how are you? You lost.
He's back. You're back.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, we used to love those shows. Love them. You go in
Yeah.
there and see, that must have been a fun show, and you got to start doing your own projects then, right? Then you started filming your
Yeah.
own movie. Did people around, did they know that you wanted to be a director? I mean, was it obvious that you want, and did you ever ask to, did they ever approach you and they ever let you work a camera or they ever let you block off scenes or
In the show
anything
that
directly?
in the show I was doing, it was like not really. There wasn't a lot of blocking aside from like make sure you're not standing in front of the camera because it was a lot of construction stuff. But I did get to operate the camera a couple times solely because somebody would have to go to the bathroom and the scene was running forever, so they would just have to hand the camera off to somebody. Um, and we did a tie-in with Lowe's during one season, and I got to like coach the cast during that, which was awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
and that was like as close as I got. But everybody knew that I wanted to be directing because I'd be like, okay, nobody talk to me on our Thanksgiving break because I'm making a movie. Please don't contact me. Don't talk to me over our vacation. Gotta set a
Now, did you
boundary.
did you did you did you get anybody? Did you get anybody? Did you take anybody with you? Did anybody ask you like, "Hey, do you need crew?"
I
I
did.
can. Huh? You did?
I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
first thing that I shot during that like reality TV when I was shooting on weekends and stuff, one of the PAs came and shot for me. Um, a couple people from the art team came and helped. Like camera people came. Like a lot of people came and helped. And then we did a couple other projects where I got to bring on people from that show, which was great.
Oh, I bet I mean, I think that's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun
Um, now,
crossover.
now where did you shoot your first film at? In California, or did you come back to home?
The first one I ever wrote and directed, I did during college, so I shot that in Florida. And then the first one I wrote and directed post grad, we'll say, I shot in Indiana, just because that's where I
Oh,
was working.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so what was your first experience like? What did you, what did you do, as far as your process go? What has evolved from your process from the first film that you worked on to the movie you're working on now? What are some things you started with and you kept as a first time director, and how has your style evolved? How would you describe your style evolving as you went on?
That is a great question. I would say that I don't want to say overly preparing, but like for some reason, the first project I ever did, I did like the script breakdown, like a lot of the stuff that an AD would do, like script breakdowns, scene breakdowns, props lists, wardrobe ideas, like was like making was doing utterly too much. Like I was lining scripts, which I like didn't really need to do, but I've pared down the prep process a lot so that I can focus on the story more and like crafting the actual vision and not I try not to worry about the minutia. Anyone who knows me is going to say that that's not true because I for sure worry about the minutia sometimes, but I'm really trying to be better about delegating and like trusting other people to take care of the little stuff so I can focus on the story. So from the very beginning, started like overly prepped and I still come in prepared, but like the process has changed to be a lot more streamlined. So now I know what I need without having to over explain it for myself and for other people. So yeah,
One of my
it's
favorite
been pretty
questions is,
close.
do you storyboard yourself now?
I don't.
No. Okay.
No, I can't draw. I simply cannot draw. and stick people are just not that helpful for me. Like I'll look at it and I don't know what it's supposed to be, and I can't draw a real
I
person.
don't know.
So
I think stick people work, right?
sometimes if it's like super intricate blocking, I'll do like an overhead and like do little circles and little arrows and stuff to try and make it make sense for myself. But most of the time, I just know like what coverage I need, and then I'll figure out the blocking with the actors and with the DP.
I can see it now. Like you're doing your overdraw and you have it on your wall, and there's stick figures and everything, and people staring at it. They're staring at it, going like, and then someone taps them on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, I speak director."
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it truly is like that.
um, so, what was it like filming in Indiana? I mean, compared to Los Angeles, I'm sort of surprised you're still in Los Angeles now. Is that has that helped your career, or as far as getting jobs go, or do you feel like you get just as amount of jobs in Iowa
Um,
or other states?
yeah, living in Los Angeles keeps me employed because like my full-time job, well, as full-time as it can be, like I pay the bills being an assistant director, so I'm on other people's sets working, helping tell those stories. Um, Even though I'd like to be directing, it's small steps at a time. So I'm out there because it's there's the volume of projects is higher. So I'm
Are
able
you
to
working on a show right now? I mean, are you
no,
employed on a movie? Okay.
not currently. I'm just working on like getting my feature into festivals, figuring out that path, and then doing post on a short that we shot 2 weeks ago.
I was gonna say, if you're working on a TV series and you're trying to get your movie up and running, that's gotta be incredibly hard. I guess most people do that on hiatus breaks, but with the strike being over and the full court press, um,
Yeah,
I mean,
stuff's starting to come
hiatus,
back, which is great.
yeah, hiatus is not gonna be a word you're gonna hear around. You're not gonna hear for a while because
I
I
hope.
mean, yeah, you must. Are you do you feel like you're in demand? I mean, people now know to go to you and to work on their projects, or do
Um,
they?
the people that I work with, luckily stay busy and keep me busy. Like, I feel like I've developed a good relationship with a handful of producers and directors that are busy, that are like making quality stuff, that have opportunities happening all the time. So I'm very lucky in that regard. So they come to me and they recommend me to people that are like doing similar scaled projects. Or like if there's a weird niche, like I've worked with kids so much and I've worked with animals so much where like people will recommend me for those specific niche genre stuff.
But is that an old axiom in Hollywood where it says, "Don't work with kids and animals"?
100%. And yet we always do.
Isn't that something? How come dogs are so hard to work with? How come they?
I They're so stubborn.
I know. I mean, I think that if people ought to employ cats more. Myself,
Yeah.
a cat, you know,
I
cats.
I did a shoot with a cat once and it was challenging to say the least.
Uh-huh. Was he all fired up?
Oh, the cat just was gonna do whatever the cat was gonna do, and that was it. Like, that was it. You're gonna just film whatever this cat chooses to do and hope that it works with your story, because there's
Uh,
no you can't control a cat.
no, 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 there's no, cats are people with fur and claws,
They are.
they're not gonna do what you want.
Yeah.
Um, and when working with kids, what was that like? I mean, all these things I could just see you working on are just really enhancing. I mean, they must feel like it has enhanced you more as a director. I mean,
For
you're
sure.
getting work experience on these shows, and it's got to be you got to be taking all that with you when you're doing your own projects. So,
Yeah.
and was working with kids and their parents. What was that like? With who was more of the prima donna, the kid actors or their parents?
I've been lucky that all the kids that I've worked with have been really the kids are great, the parents are great, the studio teachers have been great, um, which is very lucky because I know that that's not always the case.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the biggest challenge is always working around the hours that kids are allowed to work. But it's definitely a learning experience, definitely has helped me figure out a lot about scheduling and about writing smartly for things that I know I'm going to want kids in.
Oh, yeah. Now, have you worked with kids in any of your films?
Yeah, my feature film, one of our top build is a 12-year-old who's playing a 9-year-old, and the short version of the feature also had the same child in it.
Yeah, I noticed you took knee high from a short to a feature.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that? Well, let's go back to knee high at first. What was your thinking when you wrote the story?
So I started with the short, and I just have the weirdest writing process ever. And sometimes I just like can see a shot in my head, and I got to figure out how to like weasel it into a movie. So for the short, I had seen a really specific image, and I like figured out the story of this young farmer trying to like navigate co-parenting with his ex-girlfriend while trying to learn to like work the family farm in preparation for when he would take it over when he was older. And after the short, I just didn't. I knew the story wasn't over, and I knew that I wanted to tell a feature length version of it. And then I took a whole 2 years to figure out what that story was, and then 3 days to write the first like grocery draft where all the things are there but the meal's not made, and
Right.
then shaped it into what it became, and just found the story and worked a lot with Michael, my co-story person, as well as my lead actor and one of the producers on the film, to like find the story, make it right and make it authentic, and then just go. Then we just went full speed.
I mean, doing a family drama for your first uh hi Sue. Um uh, it's doing a family drama for your first feature film. I mean, you don't really see that too often. You do see like action adventure, or you see crime dramas, you see horror films, mostly horror. It
A lot
seems to
of
be.
other people think about what's marketable, which is very smart, super smart. I just did not think about marketability. I just thought about what's a story that I need to tell
But
and went
that's more
there.
important than anything. That's more important.
Yeah.
I mean, the marketability will come later. I
Yeah,
mean,
I really admire people who think about marketability and, like, know to make something that will sell so they can get their name out there a ton and, like, have people trust them with money 'cause I that's, like, so f I like, that's not in my brain space for some reason.
did you have a hard time shoot? What was your budget like for the short film versus the feature length? Was there a tremendous difference between the budgeting and
Honestly,
raising the
no.
money? No.
For the short, we didn't do a crowdfund or anything. We did a fiscal sponsorship, which would allow people to donate tax-free, but I didn't really know a lot about crowdfunding or fiscal sponsorship, so I didn't really know how to promote it to get money. So we kind of just did it for extremely, extremely low. And then the feature we did crowdfund, um, $11,000, and then there's some more that's gone into it to make it be completed.
Sure, sure. Michael is saying the short was fantastic, and he's very excited to see your feature length.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
yeah. I would. I know I can. If I can watch it. I just can't review it and tell you until. Yeah, isn't that something? Sucks, right?
It's
It's like
so
to me.
like
I really hate that. I find it so ass backwards. Like festivals are going like, yeah, well, the movie can't have been reviewed by anybody.
yeah, it's
Well,
really
why the
interesting.
yeah, why the hell not?
Yeah.
It help build up the word, the buzz,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, if people see it and there's great praise for it, they'll sit there and say, wow, I really want to see it. Everybody's saying it's so great. And then see if there isn't, if the reviews aren't so, fresh, Rotten Tomatoes, they still can sit there and say, well, that's what they think. Well, let me tell you what I think. I'm going to go see it and review it.
Yeah.
I just
It's
I find
festival
I find
world's
that ass
weird.
backwards. Yeah, it's ass backwards. Um,
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
uh, So how why family drama? I mean, I mean, like you said, you were driven by your story more, right? So that was the reason why you went with it, right? Because of the
Mhm.
story, not because of anything else.
Um, Family drama felt like something super relatable, so a lot of people it would resonate with a lot of people, and also I thought it would be lower budget because it's, there's not explosions, there's not like stunts, there's not crazy set pieces or like anything that felt high budget. And I'm like, I can make this like pretty contained. It can be in mostly one place, which is true. It is mostly in one place, but the logistics of it was definitely a factor in leaning into this as the first feature that I made. Like thinking it's mostly one location, it's a relatively small cast, like that guided it a lot.
Um, let's see, Michael mentions, I find it easier to write characters if I have an idea who the actor is playing them is. Do you have any hacks that you're willing to share uh, when you're writing your screenplay? So do you do that yourself? Do you like when you write your stories? Do you cast it in your brain? Who would you like to play the role?
Absolutely. It helps so much to be able to, like, picture somebody's face when you're writing something and, like, picture their mannerisms and, like, picture how you can see them bringing the character to life. And especially for Knee High, our lead actor, Michael, also helped me write the story and, like, find the story, and he was Cal in the short, so I knew the character and I knew how he would play the character, so that helped a lot. And same with Ben Bergthold, who plays Avery, as well as Patty, who plays Mamie. I know them, like I know their mannerisms, I know how they bring the characters to life, so that helps so much. And even for things where I don't know who's gonna play it, I'm always thinking about a dream cast because that helps. Like for me, it helps give the characters different voices, different mannerisms, different traits. Like, just thinking even if it's, like, a mega celebrity that I know is not in the budget at all, sometimes it just helps to picture them in a role to get the
Uh,
character on the page and get the story out.
so now you have a rich as far as casting goes. Obviously, we talked about Iowa being have so much talent.
Yeah,
Did you always plan on shooting knee high in Iowa? Was that where you gonna take it? And did you with all your actors? I know some of the actors were in the short, but they didn't transition to the feature. Now, was that
right.
by design or is that because of the scheduling process? Did they age out of the role? Why did you have to recast from the short to the feature?
Yeah, I definitely always planned to shoot in Iowa. Like, it's set in Iowa, I needed to shoot it here. It was the only way it would be right for me. Um, let's see, the main role that we recast was Cal's ex, and we had an amazing actress in both occasions. Just the woman who played Kelsey in the short had moved to the East Coast and is like absolutely thriving. And the scheduling just the conflict was too much. We couldn't figure out a way to make it happen. So we had to find somebody new, which was very hard. And we got really lucky finding somebody who brought that character to life in her own way. Um, and then there were, I'm trying to think, that's really the only role that carried over that had to change was her. And then Ben stayed the same, Michael stayed the same, Patty stayed the same. We did kill off somebody, but I won't go into details about that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there's some death in the movie,
Not a
huh?
murder, not a murder. I will say that.
No, no one's getting shot by Sully in this
No,
movie. Okay.
no, definitely not.
Uh, no Jeeves in this movie.
Right, right.
Though it would though now I'm sitting here going like, how cool that would have been to have Jeeves make a walkthrough through your movie. That would have been, like I think
A
every
whole new
Iowa
movie.
director, every Iowa director should take somebody else's character from their movie and cameo through their movie.
That
The
would be
the
fun.
Iowa thing.
Yeah,
Like,
like the Iowa
oh
cinematic
man,
universe.
yes, yeah.
Someone walks through and everybody else is. I'm into it. I'm
Yeah,
into it.
now, now, what is this? What Now I can see Michael over there going like, that's not a bad idea.
Let's
Um,
go.
going down,
Let's
I
put
mean,
characters in everybody's movies.
why the hell not? Alfred Hitchcock does it. Tarantino does it, right? He comes through. He does his own. He always pops up in his own movies. Um,
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
Hmm. M. Night Shyamalan's in all of his own movies.
Right, right. That's right. So I think I like that idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
We'll have to make that happen. Um,
Yeah, Iowa Cinematic Universe. Here we are.
okay, I say next movie you make for sure is because Knee High is already out, so we have to wait till the next movie.
Next
But
one.
next movie we're bringing in Jeeves. Um, uh, that's right. And Michael's gonna sitting over there going like, "You're goofy." I am goofy, Michael, and you're right. Um, but it would work. It would be a lot of fun. Um, so after the movies, after the short was over, and yes, was that your first experience with festivals, or you've done a lot of films, a lot of short films. Did you take all those to festivals as well, or was Knee High your first one?
I for sure submitted other films to festivals, and the first two played at some festivals, but I was never able to go to any of them. So Knee High was kind of my first chance to actually get to go to a couple festivals. But weirdly, the way that timing worked out and like the job that I was doing while we were doing our festival run for the short, I actually never got to see it on a big screen, which
Really?
is like my biggest regret with that process is I never got to see it on a big screen. I got to go to some festivals for it, but it's like I would show up and they would have already shown the movie. So I was just there for like the mixers and other people's films and like the award ceremonies, which was super weird, but I'm not gonna let that happen again. So there's that.
Do you like socializing? I mean,
No,
do you like the schmooze?
no,
Yeah, I had
it's
a
awkward.
feeling about that because I like
It's awkward.
yeah. Now after all this time, you still find it awkward. I'm thinking you worked on those reality shows. I mean, you have to talk on those shows, but
Yeah,
it isn't always easy, is it?
no, definitely not. I feel like it's different when you're at work because it's like I have a task. So if I have a task, I can talk to anybody because it's whatever. Like, I need you to sign this release. Like, I need you to explain the entire process of what you're doing to me so I can make it make sense for television. Like, that kind of stuff is different. And like being an AD, I have to give safety meetings in the morning, which is public speaking, which is my worst nightmare. And I have to talk to people all the time, but it's feels different when you're just going and just trying to like network and build relationships where it's like I don't have a task other than become friends and that feels so awkward for some reason.
Now, is this I mean, you have to do press as well. You have to get out there and you have to push your show and push your movie. I mean, and
Uh-huh.
whatnot. I mean, is this one of your first time that you've had to do press for one of your films?
This is the first time I've had to do press for a film, and that is yeah, it is a learning experience for sure. For
Well,
sure.
the good thing about it is, though, Marissa, is that you came to the best possible person for your first experience because,
Yes.
as you can see, we have fun here.
Yeah,
Uh,
it makes it a lot easier.
yeah, I mean, it's so loose and it's just, the chats are here. Michael's here, cracking us up. Steven's here. I mean, it's just it makes it a lot easier for both me and for you.
Yeah.
Um, because I was talking to you before when after I booked the show, and I'm going like, I need a picture. I couldn't find
And I
the
was like,
picture.
there's none on the internet. They're all
Yeah,
so old.
yeah, yeah. There was nothing on the internet. I was just like, what? And then I saw your IMDb picture, and I'm like, that's not the picture I want to use. Like, go ahead. Hey, so can you send me a headshot? Sure.
And then I find one
IMDb
from
picture.
like
IMDb picture.
2019.
Yeah. I was sitting there going, well, I can tell you right now, this is gonna have to change. You're gonna have to get yourself a headshot because
Oh, I know.
this is just the first of many. I mean,
Yeah.
you are once once this ball gets rolling, and it will roll. People
I
are going to
hope.
really want to talk to you. They're going to want to pick your brain and what have you. What a wonderful place to be, though, as a creative, though.
I agree.
To
I
share your
agree.
process, to share how you come up with ideas. I mean, what a and show your movie, all your hard work.
Yeah.
Uh, Hi, Betty Jean. I haven't forgotten. It's on its way. I'm supposed to give her my address. She's gonna send me something for my cat, and
That's awesome.
I have to give her my address, and I drag my ass. My middle name could be procrastinator. I'm telling you. I'm not
Yeah,
even
that's
kidding.
relatable.
Um, uh, 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 yeah. Okay. So now now you did the first movie. You did the short film. How long did it take you to shoot the short film versus shooting the feature length? And tell us about some of the experiences you had in shooting the feature length. I mean, obviously took a lot longer to shoot than the short did. You have a new
Yeah.
cast, you have a slightly new cast. Did it help that the old cast showed up and knew the characters? Did that make it a lot easier for you to shoot the movie? Or, or because there's a lot more dialogue, did it slow down the process a bit because of the pages you had to shoot every day?
It was a very different experience. The short we shot in 5 days, and the short I think was only 10 pages. So we had time to, like, play, and we had different locations, but we had more time to, like, play and try more things, and, like, I was prepared, but there was more room for me to try different things with the short, whereas the feature, uh, again, 5 days for the short, 15 days for the feature. So really not that much of a difference.
Mm,
Um, so it was a lot more scenes every day, it was a lot more pages every day. So having our amazing cast who knows the characters, knows the story inside and out, and they, like, came to work every day ready to go. Like, they knew what we were doing, they knew where we were emotionally, they knew where we were physically. They just showed up every day, and they all of them were just so great at taking direction and, like, giving their own input and asking great questions and helping me be a better director by making me ask questions, which I think is huge. And then I think the biggest thing that made the feature a good experience, like, made it pretty smooth for a feature, is that we had a lot of the same crew as well. Um, and we all have made a lot of stuff together, and we have a really great shorthand, and we're all really great collaborators. And so that helped make it a smooth process and make the movie possible because there were some, like, long days where we had to do a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Now, have you started to meet some of your other peers in the Iowa film community? Have you met someone like a Michael James Menard? Have you met him yet? Have you met any?
Somehow? No.
Uh, uh, you haven't met him yet.
Somehow, no.
Have you met?
I just went to Mediaverse last night and did their podcast, so we definitely talked about Michael, and I met, Jacob and Michael Huntington and Brittany. They were great. So excited that I got to finally meet them in person. So we definitely talked about Michael a lot.
So I mean, so now you're starting to meet other people in the within the state within your community. Um, that's got to be a good feeling to know that there's you have peers here that can like you can bounce ideas on or network or what have you. And do directors as a whole, do you find you talk to they're easy to talk to, like if you meet at a mixer or whatnot and there's a fellow director, is it easy for for directors to communicate with each other, or is that always an inherent part of you that always wants to keep some things close to the vest because you don't want to reveal everything that you do or how you do it?
I think it's interesting meeting, like, the different areas of Iowa film communities because 'cause I've been so, like, insulated in Des Moines and working with, like, Bruce Bales and Spencer Smith and, JB and Kalena and those folks here in Des Moines, and I felt like I really hadn't gotten to expand the roots, so it's been really cool to, like, meet people from Marengo and, like, Iowa City area and Fairfield and, like, different places and, like, get to have those connections, which is exciting. I do think it's easy for directors to talk to each other and filmmakers in general because we just love to talk about the craft. Like, it's so much fun, and I think all of us have this huge thing in common, and it's like it's our career, it's like our passion, and it's also something that we just have fun taking part in, like watching movies as well as making them. So it's such an easy common denominator to, like, find things to talk about. And I don't feel I'm pretty much an open book. about directing and the craft and like the writing process and all of that because I want to learn from other people. So I'll share anything. Like I just love talking about it because it's awesome. We get to do awesome stuff.
Mm. Um, Explain to me some. I want to go back a little bit to some earlier in your career when you said you were a PA and whatnot. What is the difference between a first unit and a second unit? You hear that all the time. You hear, well, they're running the second unit, or sometimes they'll say they're running the third unit. What does that mean? What are units and what defines them? Are they did every unit have the same? Is it the same duty every time in every movie, or does it depend on what the movie is and how and who's shooting it?
It really depends on the scale of the production. So I've done some things where we technically have 3 units, but it's like the main crew is the first unit, and you have your DP, your director, your AD, your PAs, all that stuff is there, and we'll split off at what we call a second unit, and sometimes that's just a camera operator and a second sound mixer, and like a PA to help them keep their lives together, and then at one point we split off like a third unit where it's literally just a camera operator getting B-roll somewhere. I know on bigger stuff, sometimes it's a time thing where it's like first unit, say they film a ton of the movie in Texas, and then second unit is actually in New York, and they're shooting at the same time. It really depends on the project, where the units are and how they break down and where they're at.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, he's Michael still giving me grief about me owning two Tarantino films. Now I'm dead to him. Yeah, but I still watch Guy Ritchie. Thank you very much. I'm back from the dead. Let's see. There's our friend, the mighty Bat Al Ducard. And now, would you call me a slacker? Oh my God, that's it. That's it. The cat and the bat are over. That's it.
Oh
I,
no, that's a threat.
I'm taking back my bat wings. Uh, um, Me and Al, he actually also does interviews as well. You'll probably end up talking to him sooner than later.
I hope
I'm
so.
sure. Um, yeah, I've always wondered about the duties of the like the second unit. Like, oh, he went and shot second unit stuff or third unit stuff. I'm like, what is that? What why? I mean, because I know that I know the main camera is there. They're shooting the actors and whatnot. But I guess you're right. It makes sense that if it's a big budget movie, you need to shoot a lot of things differently at the same time. So that
Yeah.
hurry up the process. Let me ask you another question too. Um, who do you edit your own films, or do you use directors as editors, or do you use editors as editors?
I hate post-production, like physically, like I don't like the process of it. I'm not good at it. It's not a skill set I have. I know that I should learn it, but it's hard and I just haven't done it yet. Um, so I've been really lucky. The last few I've done, Bruce Bales, my cinematographer, has also been editing the projects, which is a unique relationship and a unique thing that is very uncommon. A lot of directors do edit their own things, but I think most folks hire that out to an editor who is able to be an outside brain, basically. Someone who's not there deep in it every day, they can see it with fresh eyes. And I am definitely excited to try that on our next short so that someone fresh can come in and maybe see something that we didn't.
I always thought post production was uh the director's like. I thought that was actually like a playground for the director, to go out there and especially shooting on digital cameras and whatnot. It's easier to do, um, and that doing post production was actually the fun part for a director, to put it all together. But you're saying that is it because it's not like because you're not good at it. It's just like, is it because you feel like you're not good at it because you don't like it? And why don't you like it? I mean, what's part of it do you not like?
I I think it boils down to the fact that I am very impatient, so I wanna see the whole thing at once, which is, like, not reasonable in any sense of the word. So for me, as a director doing post, like, I also got really lucky and had an amazing script supervisor for Knee High the feature, so she had all of my notes, like, my insane scribblings, and then her notes of when I would, like, be crying at the monitor because I loved something so much, or if I would just, like, do little finger guns at her and be like, "I like that take." So she had all those notes to, like, transfer to figure out, like, "Okay, these are the takes we should pull for performance, and then these are the ones that, like, were best for camera." So I knew that the best takes were going into it, and I just trusted the process and knew that during the edit, everybody had the best interest of the film and the story in mind. And so I waited for the assembly cut, and then I gave notes, and we went back and forth until it was where it needed to be. And that's what I've done for every film I've done because I haven't edited any of them.
I
And
mean,
I
it must have been really fast though to do you think it has to do with the speed of the process too? You know, when you do a short film, to put it together and put it out, it's got to be a lot faster than than a feature. I mean, it's a lot
absolutely.
longer, and then you have to, like if my short's 15 minutes long, okay, and my feature's 90 minutes long. That is a lot of work. It's a
It's a lot of
lot.
work.
Yeah. And do you think it was more? Do you think it was just? I mean, I think that going forward, I mean, with your next feature, I think it'll be easier for you. I think you'll embrace it a little bit more.
I
It's just,
hope.
first, it's an experience, something you acquire through experience.
Yeah.
Um, how long? What's the runtime for the knee high?
It is an hour and 53 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. We
Very
somehow
nice.
shot a 2-hour movie. I don't even know.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Um, now, have you got a distributor deal for it yet?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
hoping to do, like, a good solid festival run and then do a regional theatrical, and hopefully somewhere in that journey, we find the right fit for it.
Okay. Okay. Now this is sort of funny, but I still ask this question, even though someone will sit there and say, "Yeah, I just busted my ass for a whole year getting this movie up and running," and whew, and then you walk up there and say, "So what are you going to be doing next?" It's like, wait a minute, the movie's not even out yet, and you're asking me what I'm doing next. But yes,
Everybody
Marissa,
always wants to know.
what are you doing next? Do you have your next movie? Because I know that I know you're always writing. So, do you have anything else that you thought about doing?
Yeah, I actually just finished directing a short film, like, 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
I am gonna be much more involved in post on that one and, like, really hopefully get a grasp on it and, like, start to enjoy the process, like you said. Um, so that's what I'm doing currently, and then I would love to do another feature. I just have to figure out a different way of funding and find the right story for the right time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Michael saying that Bruce is super talented.
Agreed.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
biased.
yeah. I mean, I think everybody in Iowa is super talented so far that everybody
It's
I've
true.
met.
Yeah.
I mean,
We got a lot of
yeah.
great people here.
I really do. I'm just blown away with it. I'm looking forward to talking to, talking more artists from Iowa. In
Yeah.
fact, I'll probably need to reach out and touch to some of your actors for your movie.
Heck yeah.
Bring them on here and chat with them about the process. See if I can see if we can get some dirt on the director.
Yeah,
Oh,
please
wait a
do.
minute, you're the
Please.
director. Okay. Wait a minute,
Yeah, yeah.
don't pay
It's
any
fine.
attention to me.
I'll
Michael
forget that
paid me to
part.
say that. Yeah, Michael paid me to say that. Um, so what did you think of the mediaverse? I mean, I almost said metaverse, mediaverse. What did you think of that? I mean, that's gonna be a whole new complex for anything an Iowa filmmaker needs. They're gonna have a studio set up for your needs. Um,
Yeah,
did you get to walk the complex?
I
And
did. I
how exciting is that? Knowing that there's something's gonna be right here in your own backyard.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I got the tour of, the haunted, definitely very haunted part of the studio, which was really cool, and everything is amazing, and, like, what I was told about the vision for the future of it is super exciting, and I think it's gonna be a really great base for people. This feels more central because, we have Renovo more north, and now we'll have Mediaverse kind of Central East. Had to really think about directions there for a second. I think it's gonna be a really exciting base for everybody on this side of the state who like maybe needs easier access for things, and they have a really great setup and like a really cool space and a ton of resources. It's really exciting.
I think when you see,
It is
and
haunted. I see Michael's comment. It is freaking haunted.
shout out Jake Daniels and the Century crew. It is haunted. Yeah. It's gotta be exciting knowing that, everybody is, thinks LA is the end all for film production, like everybody you hear that even today, people are sitting there going like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go up to LA, or I'm gonna try to move to LA, I'm gonna go out there and start acting in LA. It's like you don't need to really go out there anymore like it used to be. It used to be that's what you had to
different.
do. But now
Yeah,
it's not, yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different.
it is.
Now, and now, yeah, now all of a sudden it's like there could be, if you look around, you can see there might be something in your own area that's up and running
Yeah,
already.
for sure. And if
Now,
there's not, you can make it.
now, next to kin is a short film that you did. Now
Yeah.
that's a horror film, right?
I would call it a thriller, little
A thriller.
suspense.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of movie to watch? Necessarily more than direct. I mean, what if we walked inside your living room right now, what movies would we see that you own?
Family dramas.
Really?
Yeah, I just love them. They're so relatable. I love watching other people's drama because, like, it's relaxing, I guess.
So are you more like a Lifetime or a Hallmark fan?
Um, as comfort movies, yes,
Right,
absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
Would you like to if you got an offer to direct a Lifetime or Hallmark movie, would you jump at the chance?
Um, I want to say yes, but also it really would depend on what the story was and where they were willing to budge and like let the director have some creative freedom with like how things look specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's the thing. You don't want to get caught up in like a cookie cutter like we were talking before. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. I have a friend who's prepping her first movie, and I'm holding my breath, and I'm hoping that they don't give her a Christmas movie. I
Oh,
really
she's
don't
getting
want
ready to do like a Hallmark type thing.
to. Yeah, for Hallmark,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I'm holding my breath and going like, like I just hope it's not a Christmas movie because no,
What
because
is
she, I think I
yeah,
think her I think her skill set's way beyond that.
yeah,
She could do a family drama, and she could direct it and kick ass on it. I don't
heck yeah,
necessarily think, to me, it's almost like the Christmas movies are, it's like I'm learning how to ride a bicycle with training wheels on it, and I don't I
yeah,
don't think she's beyond that. I know she's beyond that. I've seen her
yeah,
work. It's excellent.
yeah. It's
Um,
exciting to get the opportunity to like be hired to direct something though. So that's exciting.
yeah. No, but if you're working as an assistant director, back in LA, that's, again, I mean, networking back in LA has gotta be is it more competitive out there? I mean, is it a lot more competitive out there as far as that goes? Networking, it would seem to me like it would be a little bit more edgier out in LA to try to make moves or try to network or whatnot, because everybody's, the person you're talking to today could be your competition tomorrow,
Yeah,
versus something like working in your hometown, in your home state, where the person you're talking today could be, you're sharing a coffee with tomorrow,
I think it's definitely more saturated because there's just so many people in Los Angeles and there's so many people who are in film in LA. But I think regardless of where you are and where you're networking and where you're like trying to build your connections, like you just have to find the good people and like find people who are true to their word and who really show their real personality instead of what they think you want to see. So it's like you really have a good bull meter, for lack of better words.
Right? Do you feel like you got a good BS meter?
I do. I
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like it's something that you get growing up in the Midwest is like you can really you can sense when somebody's lying, or you can sense when someone's being super fake.
Oh God, LA is like that. That's for sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
but there's good people everywhere. LA just you might have to work a little harder to find them sometimes.
hmm hmm so what do you want to see for yourself in 2024? What are some of the goals you got set out for yourself for next year?
Yeah, for 2024, I'm definitely manifesting a lot of festival-related travel. I'll just say it nice and clear. I wanna be going to a lot of film festivals with our feature film and finishing post for the short that I just directed, and hopefully writing at least 2 features, and hopefully I get to direct something else. Would love to do that. That's
I'd
all.
love to see that too.
Yeah.
Um, do anybody out here in the chat? Do you have any questions for our guest Marissa? Um,
I love Al
yeah,
saying, "Don't get Patrick started on Hallmark," and then we got you started on Hallmark.
the bat. Have you ever seen a bat with no wings? You know what you call a bat with no wings?
No.
A rat. He, my buddy, the bat is on fire today. He's on my ass for some reason. But he should know better because I do have the cheetah in my back pocket. Um, uh,
Always there.
well, actually, he's right above you. Um, do you see the cat? You see the picture of
Oh,
the
yeah, I
cat?
do. How cute.
Yeah, that's the cheetah.
Aw.
Let's see. Says okay. Michael wants to know how many Tarantino movies do you own?
I have a Tarantino book that's, like, all of his inspirations. I don't know if I own any physical hard copies. Please do not say that I'm dead to you, because it would be
Wait a
very
minute. So
upsetting.
you have like you have comic books of Tarantino?
No, he put out a book that it's him talking about, like, all of his inspirations, and, like, all the films he likes, so I have that book, and I
Uh-huh.
also have a dog toy that is a slate that says Quentin Terrier Tino. So, no hard copies
Well,
of any Tarantino movies, but a book and a dog toy.
okay, well, let me ask you this too. I'll let this be our last question of the night, but because I really want to know this. But Marissa, tell us your three favorite movies that you watched this year, and tell us the three worst movies that you saw this year. And,
I think that the only movie I saw in theaters this year was Barbie, because I
okay,
was very busy working and, like, doing that and, yeah, not getting to go to the movie. Um, let's see. I can't even think of 3 movies that I saw this year, which is really sad.
well, didn't you see? You should have killed me. You didn't see that yet?
No, I haven't gotten to see it yet.
Now you're really dead to Michael.
I know. It's probably but if I just say that it's on my top 3 for this year, if I watch it in the next 2 weeks, then it's fine, and it
Yeah.
counts.
Well, I'm thinking maybe I think he's probably gonna be contacting you. He's probably gonna be sending you
Give me a link. Give me a link.
he's probably gonna be sending you a DVD of it.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, send me a
Yeah,
link.
it would be awesome. Not that I've gotten a DVD, mind you. I haven't got
Not
one. I
yet.
mean, not me, the guy who wants to do a Tarantino list, I haven't got one yet. But I'm just, I'm not, pointing that out for any reason
Oh,
that I
no, no,
haven't gotten a movie from
no. No, of course, it's just
uh,
casual. It's all casual.
uh, okay, so tell us your tell us three movies that you or I know you mentioned before, but there's got to be a movie or two that you watch and just like, oh hell no.
Oh, man, did I watch anything weird this year?
Do you watch a lot of movies, or do you get a
Nor
chance to watch a lot of movies?
normally I do get to watch a lot of movies, but this year was, like even with the strikes and everything, I got really busy on, like, a foreign project for the whole summer, which is, like, I feel like when all the great movies started coming out. Um, I feel like I'm the worst person to ask because I'll watch, like, a movie that everyone's like, "This is trash. This is so bad," and I'll just, like, find something that I love about it and decide that I love the movie. It's embarrassing.
You have walked into the right place. That's what we are all like that. Are you kidding me? Fish me in the bat.
Yeah, love
The
that.
bat mentioned that The
Oh, we
worst
did
movie
see
he saw
Asteroid
this
City.
year was Blood Claws. Oh
Blood
god.
Claws.
Oh,
What is that?
it's a there's this oh, I can't even call him a filmmaker. That's an insult. There's this guy out in the West Coast. Um, oh, actually, you might even heard of his name, so I'm gonna drop it. So there's this director named Dustin Ferguson.
I don't think I know them.
Okay, count yourself lucky. So he makes I don't even know what he makes. He calls it film, so we got to go with it. But he makes movies. They last about they're about 40 minutes. Um, they'll say it they're an hour long, but his credits are 20 minutes every movie. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
You gotta get your full hour somehow.
Yeah, Al can tell you. Um, the movies, his movies run about the 40 minutes. I mean, he'll do. This is he'll at the end of for the final credits, he'll show all the actors, right? He'll show their name. He'll show the picture of them in the movie and their name. They go through. Then it goes to the roll credits. He does the same thing and brings up the cast, and he rolls it slow. It literally is 20 minutes worth of filler versus 40 minutes of crap. Um, well, he made a movie called Blood Claws, and then last year, and then this year he basically took the same 25-cent effects, the CGI that he got, and he made a movie called Cocaine Cougar, which is but it's not but it's,
Oh,
but it's not the worst film I've seen this year. I've seen
okay.
worse. Um, let's see, Asteroid City, so good for Michael.
I did see
Uh,
Asteroid City.
Al mentioning Dougie, yeah, we call him Dougie Ferguson. Um,
Oh, he's back. Okay.
oh Lord, and he's remaking Spider Baby. No, he's not. That's
Spider
terrible.
Baby.
Let's see. Uh, oh, I could have. Michael says I could have Patrick Boberg's copy of his
There
movie.
you go. There you go. That's a Camino copy
And
of the
Michael wants to
movie.
know if he saw. Yeah, you did you see Oppenheimer?
No,
Oppenheimer?
I saw Barbie. That's it. On that
No.
during that release window, it was like I have time for one movie and it's Barbie or Oppenheimer, and I went Barbie because Greta Gerwig.
Sure, sure.
Also,
I think
Oppenheimer looks very scary.
yeah, yeah. I was a little perplexed by the marketing of that. I'm like, Barbieheimer and all that. I'm going like, one's a very serious movie about maybe one of the most 20, one of the 20 most influential men in history, and then you pair it up with a doll. I was just like, but I guess people went and they saw it and they saw Barbie and
Some
Oppenheimer at the
people
same time.
did do the
So
Barbenheimer, like Michael's saying, and I applaud them.
yeah, I think it was actually pretty good marketing. I don't think Oppenheimer would have
Yeah,
did nearly the business if it had just opened up by itself.
yeah, you got to
Um,
drive numbers somehow.
see, Marissa, have you seen a movie called Brightwood? Oh yes, that's the movie. Yes, the movie I just turned on. I turned on the bat to. Um, the Brightwood that's my number one movie of the year.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Is a movie out from Cinephobia releasing. It's written and directed by Dane Alcar. Oh, it's so good. It's
Is
so
it
twisted.
what's the genre or like the log line?
Thriller, thriller
Oh,
horror.
nice, nice.
Yeah. It's a trip. It's an absolutely trip.
Write
And
it
I've been
down.
talking about it. And my buddy Al, the bat, he saw it too, and he says, "Dude, that's a great movie." I said, "I told you." Um, we watch a lot of obscure stuff. Me and Al, we don't watch a lot of the mainstream stuff. We watch
Yeah,
a lot of independent films. So
that's good though.
your movie will be right into our wheelhouse. Um,
Independent, not made by
and
a studio.
I'm sure that Al will be Al. He's part of the. I do believe you are part of the Iowa Film Group, Al. If you're not, let me know. I'll send you an invite. I'm sure that Al will probably be
Yeah, get
reaching
in
out
there.
to you really soon, and he'll probably have his own set of questions for you.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get you more press.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get the practice.
Right.
Let me just keep
Um,
going.
I got all your socials down below, and if there's anything I don't have down below, and you have anything that you want to share with me, let me know. I'll put it down in the description down below.
Okay.
But I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. I had a tremendous fun time talking to you.
Thank you.
Um, I think your future is extremely bright, extremely bright. I think it's going to be. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see your film.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
yeah, it's going to be exciting. And thank you for coming on with us. And I want to thank the chat too. It's absolutely been rocking and
It
rolling.
has.
You know what? It's weird. It's weird. I went away for a month. I come back. I'll go ahead and pick up the show. And so far this month, this is some of the most engaging chats I've had. I
Everybody
mean,
missed you.
everybody's been talking. I mean, not be the biggest crowd per se, but the people who are here, they're into it, and I
I love
really
it.
do appreciate it so much. Um, what's coming on the channel? You asked before we let you go. Got to bring out the calendar. So our show on the 17th got pushed back to January. Elizabeth Chamberlain, I sort of knew that was going to happen to her as close to Christmas. And she works in a service. Her day job is with in the service sector. So she got pushed back till January. But I will be back here on the 18th, flying across the pond to meet our good friend Gareth. Video Tasties. Him and I will be talking and watching and talking about Van Helsing on the 18th at 3 p.m. On the 19th, we have horror host Dr. Ivan Cryptosis will be here with us. Horror host on the 19th, Dr. Ivan will be with us. On the 20th, we have filmmaker and one of my favorite people, and I finally get the chance to meet him face to face. We've known each other for years, and he helped my blog out so much. And now I get a chance to talk to him and his movie called Lunamancer, and that is Matt Patterson will be here on the 20th at 8 p.m. And then a week from tonight, on the 21st, we have Mr. Nas Red will be here. Director Nas Red will be here. Debbie and the Devil, and also a tremendous documentary called Hellacious, the making of an indie film, which I watched, was blown away from. That's a really good documentary, really good documentary. And Nas Red will be here along with his producing partner April. Super nice guy. Cannot wait to talk to Nas. He has overcome a lot. He's had a bumpy ride, and but now his movies are getting made, and I'm so excited to meet him, and can't wait to chew the fat with him. And that'll be on the 21st, and then on the 28th, the last show of the year. We might get one more after that. I'm not sure, but we're going to be talking to film critic Jason Evans. Will be here on the 28th at 8 o'clock. Um, so that's what's coming onto the channel. Yeah. So I guess I will see everybody next Monday at 3 p.m. At Video Tasty's channel. For everybody, for on behalf of me and Marissa, thank you again for coming out. Stay right where you at, Marissa. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody in the chat. Yeah, and if you have spare Tarantino movies, send them my way because I need them. I only have 2 Tarantino movies, so yeah. I, I almost have more Michael Menard movies than I do Tarantino movies. Uh, all right, guys. Thanks so much for coming out. Thank you so much for your support. We'll talk at you soon. Peace.